I exist, I'm back. I will make this a very fast profile if I can. I don't know how long it will take these games. I haven't recorded the games yet. Oh God. But I threw this together because essentially I've been doing a bunch of OTSs and events recently. Uh, and it was great. It was Galaxy Sweep every time. And then it was suddenly like, oh, I've lost with Galaxy Eyes. And that loss has made me very upset. And I decided the problem with my deck was there was not enough non-engine, so now we're playing a deck that can play enough non-engine. Introducing Adamancipator in 2023. Yes, we threw a bunch of staples in and hope that the rocks don't whiff. That's the plan. So yeah, let's quickly run through the cards before going to a couple of games. Nib, into rock deck. It's nib. Exceed it extends, so if and from your normal summon, if you get interrupted, and you can go for a Gallant Granite and then combo from there. Free Guardian, no interruption. We don't like interruption, especially in Nibiru. And you can end on this guy. He's a fine piece to have on the board. He's a negate and destroy for a monster effect. Works. Two Analyzer because yeah, it's the brickiest of them. And you can only really special it when your opponent's done stuff, so we're fine with two of this. Three Supplier extends and gets you a Guardian, one Xeno Guitar. Only on one of this now because, yeah, uh, we have there's not as much value off of it now, really. But he's just a guy to excavate and summon, really. One Dragite, I could consider playing this at two, but I don't know yet. More testing is required, but really nice excavate. It's probably your number one in a lot of scenarios because you just get to draw a card, draws you into that key non-engine that's going to really bolster your board. Three Ash, three Seeker, yeah, it's Summony Boy. Three Cartagena. This is a really nice card now because it will allow you to do two normals if you get interrupted to extend from there, and it can also summon itself in the graveyard and do further stuff, enabling more link plays and sometimes synchro, I guess. And it's also a 2 which enables Cupid Pitch, which we'll talk about in a bit. Two Doki Doki because I do not like this card at 3, but it's a good card. You could consider cutting something, possibly the Veiler here, for another one if you wanted, but I'd rather do Dragite if you're doing that, just because it's easy. In it plays into a lot of interruption, and I've had a really bad time with this a lot of the time. And it's also a 2, which means that if you because you're not making Cupid pitch until later down the line in your combos. So if you're just have this guy on field and it gets interrupted, you're suddenly like, oh, even if I have an extender, I can't go for rap type plays here. Unless that extender is specifically somehow a way to analyze it, which is doubtful. So that's fine at 2, I think. One Hoppier Squadron. This is part of the Cupid pitch line where your summon Cupid pitch, you get to go for like a Crystal Wing or a Baron play, but then you also get to search Hoppier, which will allow you to go into Satellite Warrior on your opponent's turn. 3 Researcher. It's the best tuner, really. It's amazing. One Veiler. 2 Talents, because we like removing our opponents out to our board. And if we're in a sticky situation, the draw 2 can be nice. 3 Dark Ruler, just in case we lose the die roll, because this deck struggles going second. 3 Imperm, nice card. 2 Evenly, again, for the same reasons, Dark Ruler. Then an extra deck, Baron, because Baron. Satellite Warrior for the Cupid Pitch package. Crystal Wings, we can use Raptide as that synchro material. One Dragite, good at breaking boards, and it's a spend trap negate. One Barkon if you're coming up against a trap deck. One Raptite, because Raptite's just amazing, grab you the tuner you're missing, and then you can do more extension from there. One Cupid Pitch for the Hoppier and tuning stuff. One Gallant Granite to search any of your rocks. One Baguska, because sometimes you just need to Baguska pass, let's be honest. One Underworld Goddess to get rid of those really annoying guys. One Access Code, because Access Code punch really hard. Apollosa, this has come up less nowadays. I think you could probably consider cutting it for other options, but for now I've got her here. One Nightmare Unicorn, just different form of removal. One Alsa, because we're playing Earths, and one Almirage for Exceed plays. I think potentially Apollosa could be cut for an IP, but really it's like fine. Like IP just doesn't feel very valuable anymore now. We don't have Block Dragon, but it's still a solid option, I think. Two Nibiru in the side because again we struggle going second, and it's a rock, so it synergizes with the deck anyway. Sometimes you even board entities going first, depending on the deck you're playing. Three Vistials, one Druis, and two Magnamut. They're Vistials. They act as extenders and also can counter light and dark decks. Plays well with like stuff like Sky Strike and Manadion and that. Three Droll because again we hate combo. We're the only ones allowed to combo here. Three Cosmic because Cosmic's just a very strong form of removal for certain traps this format. One Evenly to round off the playset because again it's another good way to remove stuff, and three anti-spells so we don't get Dark Rulered. So that's it for the ratios. Let's get in some games. Okay, so we're going second against Manadion. I hate this deck. It bullies me. So we've got Nib in hand, that's our only form of interaction. They're just going through combos. They've had a bit of a bricky hand, so they have left an optimal start. However, they can still get to a board of a couple of interruptions quite easily, plus the two in hand, roll and Imperm. So they're just going through the lines here. We have to Nib here before a big synchro hits the board. And so they go into Ashroud, and then they pop Nibiru. Nibiru is a rock, so we go Supplier effect here. We grab our Guardian, which will nullify any in-hand interruption we might care about. So we go for Guardian effect. Then we go for the Researcher here. And that is not a mark off the top. So we go for Raptite, then we go for Supplier Search. We get rolled. We do not care about draw one bit in this deck. So we go for Raptite here. We hit Analyzer, that's good enough for me. And then we go for Analyzer effect. At this point, we don't think we can reach lethal, but we are going to try and build a board. We forget that we are under control, so we're just popping the Ashbound here. We have to negate the Baron here. We're going into a very simple, I think, game state. So we're passing here due to that misplay with the draw. But we Baron back into our Raptite because Raptite too strong, and they pop our face down. So sure, we grab Research back, but they get talents, but unfortunately hit nothing off the top. They went for Gallant, not the Raptite, sure. We go for Raptite effect here before revealing, after instating the Guardian. And Seiko does just fine. Seiko goes off here. Yep, that's it. And we go for a second Guardian here because, you know, it's Guardian. He's a good boy. Make Crystal Wing to clear space for our Researcher Excavate. And, you know, Cartagin does okay, I guess. So we go into Cupid Pitch, then Cupid Pitch can increase its level to go for Baron. Cupid Pitch unfortunately burns for a K, meaning that this is actually lethal, my friend. And that's gay. Okay, so next we're on to a game where we're going second against Sky Striker. They have not drawn the Sky Striker engine, however we are playing through some formidable interaction, name a D barrier and essentially double monster negate. So we're fine letting the Vela resolve here. We don't mind Max got Seeker in hand to extend. We go Seeker here. For some reason they don't imperm. Probably assume we're going to make Raptite following this, which is a reasonable assumption to make. However, we are going to make Unicorn here to spin it back. Don't know why they don't just negate the Unicorn, but sure, we go for Supplier Search. We make Access Code, and we have a Vistial in hand. Yeah, that's lethal. This deck can make lethal if you need to. Just make sure it is actually lethal. Okay, so finally we are against Heroes. And we're starting off an Analyzer here. We are withholding the Seeker. And we get a Guardian, that's fine. It's insulation against the interaction that doesn't exist. We go for Seeker here. And, ooh, no, we do not hit anything off the top here. So we're forced to go for Raptite here. And then we go Raptite. We do get a hit here, which is good. However, it is not researcher, so we cannot further extend into more tuners without going to Gallant here, which means we cost us bodies, but we go for researcher, and then researcher gets to go. We hit Doki Doki, very nice, and In our Infinite Genius, we set Xena Guitar, all part of the master plan. Don't worry, don't worry. It's definitely planned. So we go into Crystal Wing using Cupid Pitch here, and we search our Hoppid Squadron, and we're ending on essentially 3 interactions here. They start off with Dark Panther. We have to negate this with Crystal Wing due to its nature, and then we go Hoppid directly into a Baron to counter any spell and traps they may have. So we're just letting them play. Essentially, we don't really care. So we ash the Tants, because that's just a good thing to ash. But essentially here, we don't really care about anything unless it allows them to start fusing. Really, that was my thinking. So it should just be a hop, skip, and a jump to lethal here, pretty much. Nothing that difficult. So yeah, we go for Guardian, and then we go for Researcher. We're doubly insulated here, because we don't know any of our opponent's cards at the moment. And that is a hit. Supplier is fine. So we go into access code here because we are just going to punch. So we can Guardian here. That means that we aren't playing into any potential imperm access code, and we just murder them. Yeah. Okay, so my final thoughts on deck are: it's fun, it's decent. However, it's not really what's needed this format, given the decks that are most prominent in the meta. However, I do really enjoy the deck. I think that being able to play. So the thing is, like, I think the deck would be fine if you hit every single Adamancipator, but you're not going to do that. You're not going to have perfect hands every time. You're going to have to play weirdly, suboptimally a lot of the time, and that's the problem. And you can't, because you can't really afford to do that with stuff like Branded or Labyrinth, where they'll just go so resource plus um, that you'll just fall behind fast. But on the other hand, you can hit decks hard and fast with all the non-engine, so you can clinch a lot of games like that. So I think that it's decent. It's definitely no tournament topper, but if you want to have something to just do decent boards, be able to play a lot of interaction with your opponent, then this is a decent deck to pull out. And Barkion's a funny card.